Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be customizing and showing you guys all the upgrades for the remaining 8 to 9 vehicles that are going to be coming in Grand Theft Auto Online Smuggler's Run. So if you watched my live stream a couple days ago, which I'll also leave a link to in the description, you guys know we were only able to customize technically 2 vehicles, the Coil Cyclone and then the Rapid GT Classic. That's because those are the only vehicles that were customized in the Los Santos custom shop. The rest, like the Vigilante, required the MOC, and the other vehicles were all aircrafts that required the hangar. Well, it turns out that if you're somehow able to get these new aircrafts inside of the hangars and online, you can actually customize them, which is pretty cool. Now, there was no way for me to keep these vehicles, obviously, and I couldn't bring them out of my hangar, and I did end up spending money on this customization, but I thought it was cool, and I wanted to show it off for you guys in this video. Now, one thing I'm not going to be showing off in this video is stuff like armor, countermeasures, engine, and handling. All of that is the exact same for every single aircraft. It doesn't change. What I'm going to be showing you guys are the unique things like special features you can add, the liveries, the weapons, etc. So let's jump into it, and let's start with the Hunter, the only helicopter that's been added with this update. So the Hunter has some pretty awesome liveries. The first one is Shark Teeth, which is pretty simple. It just adds a pair of shark teeth to the front of the vehicle. After that, it's Shark Teeth Bat, which adds a pair of eyes above the shark teeth, and then some sort of like pig bat towards the back. It's kind of weird. After that, you have Jungle Teeth Shark Bat, which adds just a kind of camo pattern livery over that. Following that, you have Shark Teeth Wolf, which instead of that bat, you literally get a wolf closer to the back engine, which is kind of unique. After that, you have Desert Camo Teeth Wolf, which just adds a camo livery on there. After that, you have Forest Camo, which literally just adds a forest camo, nothing more, nothing less. Wilderness Camo Bat, which again adds the same shark teeth eyes and bat with a different livery on there. And then Storm Camo Shark Teeth Wolf, which adds kind of like a grayish livery finish on there, which once again is pretty cool, and those shark teeth eyes. And there's also like a thin little gray line that goes across the side as well. I don't know if you guys have noticed that too. So those are all the liveries. Pretty basic, I will say. I didn't expect a lot for this since it was a helicopter, but there you go. It also has a primary and a secondary color, so if you wanted to change those, you could. And then it has weapons. Now for the weapons, you actually can choose bombs and turrets. For the bombs, that's the ability to drop all of them, obviously. And for the turrets, you can choose between a 50 cal turret, which is stock, and then an explosive turret. Now, it does not make any physical changes to the helicopter itself. It remains the same look. So that right there is the Hunter. Very, very cool. This is a menacing Apache helicopter that's going to be added into the game sometime very soon. After that, we have the Nakota. Now, the Nakota is based off the Rustler from GTA San Andreas, and one of the first few things this vehicle can get is drop tanks. Now, drop tanks are cosmetic only. They actually don't do anything, so they're just for appearances, but you can apply them to the vehicle if you want. After that, we have liveries. Now, I will say the liveries on the Nakota are probably the best out of any airplane. The first one is God Save the King, which is kind of a green pattern with some like yellow spiral on the nose of the plane itself. You can see some white stripes on the wing, as well as Nakota written towards the front. After that, you have Crab Air. Crab Air is pretty interesting too. It's kind of a wilderness camouflage. You can see a target written on the wing, as well as a target written closer to the back of the plane as well. After that, we have 10 Pickle Hunter. This is kind of the Captain America version of the livery. It has a shark fin on the front. It also has a blue, gray, red, white pattern with a star as well. 372 written on there too. Following that, we have Cupid's Itch. Cupid's Itch is a gray pattern with white stripes on the wing and kind of a military star on the wing too, with some red patterns also. After that, we have Hangars Warrior, which the most predominant feature is a red and yellow checkerboard pattern on the front. Looks pretty good. Following that, we have Pecker Checker. The most predominant feature is that green and yellow checkerboard pattern on the wing. After that, we have Dirty Gertie, which has a white and gray checkerboard pattern on the front, kind of green and gray pattern on the car itself. Rootin' Tootin' is up next. It is all green and yellow with some pinup girl on the front sitting on a cloud. And then we have Shrapnel Catcher next, which has a kind of yellow belly underneath, green top, and then Desert Rat, which is an all camo one, and it has the shark face on the front too, which is pretty menacing. The Nakota has a primary and secondary color too. And it also has the ability to add missiles to it as well. Now, it does have regular machine guns on there, but I definitely recommend adding the homing missiles to this vehicle. So that right there is the Nakota. After that, we have the Bushka. This one has some very intense liveries on there, and that's what we're going to be starting with first. So the first three are all eagle patterns, so white, black, and gold. All of them basically draw an eagle on the top of the plane and change the number. So the white one is 04, the black one I think is 62, and the gold one is 08. So those are all the different liveries for as far as the eagle one goes. After that, you have Crimson Star, which literally adds a red star on the side and wings of the plane. Following that, you have Shark Tooth, which adds a massive shark mouth to the front of this vehicle, as you can see, as well as a bunch of other symbols and insignias too. And I think the letter 19 and BSH13E. Pretty awesome. After that, you have Bushka, which adds some red and white stripes to the wing, the number 01, and a star with kind of a target behind it. After that, you have Americana, which is basically the same thing, changes the number to 07, adds a different star. Following that, you have Pinup, which again adds that pinup girl on the cloud, changes the star a little bit, adds the number 11. After that, you have Tally Ho, Simple Target, number 21. And then the last one is probably my favorite, which is Vodka Bamba, which combines a red eagle and also sort of a vodka livery on the front and on the nose and the number 05, which is pretty awesome to say the least. That one is definitely my favorite. Now, after that, you can change the primary and the secondary color, which is pretty cool. The Bushka has the option for jet-assisted takeoff, which is another awesome customization option. It can drop bombs as well, which is pretty awesome. And you can upgrade 2 of the nose turrets. So you have the 50 cal turret on the front. You can change that to 30 millimeter explosive cannons. And then you also have the rear turret, which you can also upgrade from 50 cal to 33 millimeter explosive cannons too. So that's pretty awesome. And those are some of the weapon upgrades you can do on the Bushka. After that, we have the Buckingham Howard NX-25. This is basically the new glorified stunt plane. The only thing you're going to be able to do on this one is change the livery and the respray. However, the liveries are pretty awesome. So the first one is Lucky 7, that literally just adds a 7 to the wing of the plane. After that, you have Traditional, which doesn't do a whole lot either. Traditional just adds kind of a yellow stripe that goes along the wing, and then a red dot. It also changes the red closer to the propeller. After that, you have Bandit Arms, which just is a pattern of black and white stripes. 4 Squared, which literally puts 16 on the left wing and some numbers on the right wing. You have 35 up next, which does the same thing. 35 on the left wing, random numbers on the right. Classic stripe is just a white stripe that goes along the wings. Howard NX-25 writes NX-25 HW on the right wing. Looks pretty cool. Racing Curve is up next. It's this very light blue with 84 written on the wings, and the livery also goes down to the wheelbase too, which is something unique for this vehicle. After that, you have Racing Stripe, which is 36, and it has this kind of maroon burgundy racing stripe going on the wings. And after that, you have Racing Stars, which is definitely the most patriotic. Red, white, and blue with white stars going along the side of the plane. And as I mentioned earlier, you are able to change the primary and the secondary color of this vehicle if you want as well. But that is the Buckingham Howard NX-25. After that, we have the Mammoth Mogul. Now, the Mammoth Mogul, you can change a couple things, including the livery. Now, the liveries for this one are not my favorite, but that's okay. So the first one is All Aboard, which adds bright blue accents along the side and on the engine propeller area. The next one is Lil Wavy, which is a pattern of blue, red, and white kind of waves that go along the body and on the tips of the wings. After that, you have Sky King, which is a pattern of matte gray and orange with some white and star accents. This one's pretty cool. I am a big fan of that. After that, you have Delivery Day, which adds bright red accents to the body and to the propeller area, as well as adding stars on the back and on the wings, which is pretty cool. Following that, you have Duty Calls, which is what I think looks like the Captain America one, blue and red stripes with a star and more insignia designs on the back, as well as the word Mogul written on the wing. After that, you have Macked Out, which is a bright red design with this hog breathing on the front. Kind of a weird one, not going to lie. After that, we have Expendable. This one is my favorite, which just adds black kind of patterns and a white stripe down the side and on the wing too with a little triangle skull logo, which looks pretty cool. And then the most camo one is Private Mogul. It is a matte finish with a camouflage design that goes on the wing. So those are the liveries for the Mogul. A couple other things you can change. You can obviously do the primary and the secondary color. It has the jet-assisted takeoff option as well, and it also has options to bombs, primary weapons and secondary weapons. So you can obviously drop all the bombs. You can change from a single 50 caliber turret to a dual 50 caliber turret, which you can see me changing to right now. And on the front, you can change from a single nose machine gun to a dual nose machine gun. So double the firepower is always better, and those are the upgrades you can do for the Mogul. Following that, we have the Buckingham Pyro. This one is actually surprisingly one of the coolest jets we have in the game. So the Buckingham Pyro, you can do a couple things, including changing the livery. The liveries on this are kind of interesting. They're not as complex as you think. The first one is Arthur Squad, which adds this kind of greenish camo to the top of the plane itself. Following that, we have Royal Takeoff, which doesn't change anything but add a couple symbols to the vehicle, like crowns and whatnot. After that, we have Griffon Fighter, which is kind of a sort of grayish green camo pattern on there. Looks pretty cool. After that, we have Blizzard Force, which is more of like a white and gray and brown camo pattern. Looks pretty awesome. After that, we have Gray State, which is kind of a brown and gray camo livery that is applied to the vehicle. Ice Phantom is very unique. It is this like modern, blue pattern. I'm not exactly sure what's going on in the back there, but that's, again, a pretty interesting design. Following that, we have Crimson Fleet, which is a kind of dark reddish camouflage, and you can see some of the symbols added to the wings too. Following that, we have Skyhawk, which is, in my opinion, one of the best ones. It's this very, very light gray livery, but it still has like the orange stripes on there. It's pretty cool. Emerald Phantom is up next. It's that green pattern. Again, pretty interesting stuff right there. And then the last one is Stealth State, which is a very, very dark black camouflage pattern. Again, looking pretty awesome on this vehicle. Now, other than that, you can change the primary and the secondary color, and you can actually weaponize this vehicle, which is pretty cool. So by default, I think it only comes with the machine guns, but you can actually put the weapons on there, the homing missiles, which makes this much more deadly. And that right there is the Pyro. All right, moving on, we have the Western Sea Breeze. And the Western Sea Breeze is honestly one of my favorite. So starting with the liveries, we have a ton of amazing ones. The first one is Shooting Star Blue, which has stars coming inward on the plane and on the wing, with Sea Breeze written on the body in blue and yellow, and also some like random numbers written on the back and on the wing too. After that, we have Shooting Star Yellow, which predominantly changes the color of the stars to yellow instead of blue. Following that, we have Sunseeker Red, which is an interesting pattern of red, yellow, and black going along the body and on the wings, with Sea Breeze written close to the propeller. Sunseeker Blue, same thing, but with a different color of dark blue, light blue, and kind of a black pattern. Very cool as well. Waverider Blue, which is actually my favorite, is a wavy design of orange, yellow, and light blue, with Sea Breeze written in white closer to the body and the door. Again, that one's kind of my favorite. After that, you have Waverider Red. Same thing, but with red, orange, and dark blue. After that, we have Seaways Blue, which is basically just a blue underbelly that can be seen on the wing and on the back and underneath of it. And then Orange, which is the exact same thing, but of course in orange. You can once again change the primary and the secondary color, and you can also do bombs on this vehicle as well as 7.62 machine guns. You don't think of this being as a weaponized plane, but the Sea Breeze can drop some bombs, which is pretty awesome. So I think that that is epic, and that is honestly one of my favorite vehicles. I can't wait for the Sea Breeze to come. Okay, and last but certainly not least, as far as aircrafts go, we have the Laser. You guys know the Laser is going to be available for $6.5 million. Well, what can you do with the Laser? I mean, at $6.5 million, you better be able to do some pretty cool stuff with it. Can you add, special weapons that no other plane has? Can you get some like crazy defense system? No, the only thing you can do is change the primary and the secondary color. So for $6.5 million, you get a jet. This spawns at Fort Zancudo, and you can change the color of it. So money well spent, and because of the occasion, I decided to make it gold, because why not? But I wanted to include it in this sort of video as well, because it is going to be a vehicle that you can store inside of your hangar. So that right there is the 8 vehicles that you're going to be able to store that are going to be brand new coming up inside of your hangar, from the Hunter to the Sea Breeze to the Nakota to the Pyro to the Mogul to the Bushka to every other plane in there. Those are pretty awesome, and that should have given you a good idea at the customization you're going to be able to do for these vehicles. Now, there was one more that I wanted to include in this video, and I wanted to at least try it, and that was the Vigilante. So my friend Shark and I tried to bring the Vigilante inside the MOC, but it gave us the error, this vehicle is too hot to modify. So unfortunately, we can't modify it, but Shark could modify it with his own ways, and the only thing he could change is the primary color, and then he could add a missile upgrade. So you're not missing much with the Vigilante, there isn't anything you can add like a spoiler or bumpers or anything like that. You can literally only upgrade to different missiles, and then you can change the color if you want to. So that right there is all the unreleased vehicles in Grand Theft Auto Online and their customization, what they're going to look like, and so much more. Once again, if you're interested in the other two vehicles, the Cyclone and the Rapid GT Classic, that video will be linked in the description. I did a live stream customizing and going in depth on both of those vehicles, so check that out. That'll be in the description too. But anyways, that's all I've got for you guys in this video today. Hopefully you did enjoy. I know it was a long one, but I really just wanted to get through all of them. I didn't want to have to break it up into separate videos or anything like that. So let me know which one is your favorite in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you did go and enjoy this video though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.